And welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Paper Begone. Tax season is upon us, and that's when people start disposing of outdated documents. Paper Begone can do that for you safely and in an environmentally friendly way. Documents, medical records, x-rays even. They can even destroy old hard drives. Paper Begone. Give them a call this week or visit them online, paperbegone.com. Okay, it's Super Bowl Sunday, and we've done prop bets in the past. We've talked about which team has the most Vols all time, etc. Let's just have a little fun here. We're all different ages, so I thought that may add something to it. Quick questions for everybody. I want to know favorites, most hated teams, players, etc. So question number one. Jimmy, I'll start with you. What was your favorite or most memorable Super Bowl? And none of these can involve our own teams. So I can't say Patriots, you can't say Raiders. It can't be teams that beat our teams either. Oh, I hate the Bears. And I do. But what was your favorite or the most memorable Super Bowl as a kid?
That's easy for me. It is, first off, I'll have to explain that I butted heads sometimes with my football coach in high school. Okay. And imagine me butting heads with a coach.
With somebody? Yeah.
Yeah, but... So I was a big AFL fan. He was a big NFL fan. And he said that the Baltimore Colts were going to blow out the New York Jets and Joe Namath. So I bet him $5, and he gave me 17 points on the Jets.
Wow.
And I took the Jets, and Namath beat them. And I took that $5 and I put it in a frame. And I reminded that coach.
And every time you see him, you walk away from him with that number one.
Yeah, that's right.
That's shot.
And also, when the next year I took the Chiefs and beat them again. So, but the Jets was the first one. I like that one.
All right, so Jets over Colts, most memorable, Ryan.
Man, I had to go back and look at the list because I grew up in the 90s and the Super Bowls were terrible almost every year. I do have vague memories. The first one I can ever remember was the Scott Norwood missed kick. That's a very memorable game that stood out for years, even though I didn't watch the entire game probably at that age. But the other one that stands out to me as I got a little bit older growing up, Patriots-Rams 2001. It was right after 9/11, right? It was a great game. The halftime show was memorable. That was just a great Super Bowl all around, and it had a great finish for the first time or not the first time, but the second time in 15 years.
You two did the halftime that was so good, and that was back when people were pulling for the little underdog Patriots. All right, Chuck, what was your favorite or most memorable Super Bowl as a kid?
Well, I've watched part of every Super Bowl that's been played, even before it was called the Super Bowl. I still think I go back a little bit to Reggie White and when they won, and when he was running around with the trophy, and had interviewed Reggie a few times. So that one stands out.
Yeah. Congratulations. All right, Josh.
So Ryan and I are about the same age. I'm going to blend them together as they kind of do in memory. The Cowboys just dominating the Bills, and felt that for the Bills, but also I was affected positively by the star and Emmett. I loved Emmett, so watching the Cowboys dominate the way they did, I just thought, okay, I'm young, the Cowboys, this is how it is in football, that they're just going to kill everybody forever. And 28 years later, Cowboys fans have a different thought of how it goes.
Mine was a pretty good game. It looked better in score than it was, but go back to 1979. Sorry, Chuck. Steelers beat the Cowboys 35-31. I just remember growing up as a kid in the 70s, you were either a Steelers fan or you were a Cowboys fan. That was it. And I was a Patriots fan. So I had no friends.
And of course, isn't that the Jackie Smith slipping in the end zone?
Everybody was one or the other, yeah. And that was a great game. Great game. All right. We're going to have to be much quicker now.
All right.
What Super Bowl team or dynasty did you hate the most, Chuck? And it's okay if you say Patriots.
No, I'm not going to say Patriots. I would say the Steelers. I mean, they just had that run in the 70s, and they broke so many hearts, and they were just so good.
All right, he says Steelers. Ryan, dynasty you hated?
It's the Patriots. I mean, just the time they were the first one I really couldn't stand. So yeah, that was an easy one.
Josh, go ahead, say your joke. I said before the show. I said anybody can say Patriots, and you said.
I don't consider the Patriots a dynasty, so they would be ineligible for this conversation, but it would be the Patriots, and it's all specifically due to the Tuck rule, which I have made peace with at this point, but it's the Tuck rule
That's the right
and
call.
the Patriots. Yeah.
It's the right call. Bad rule, right call. Jimmy.
San Francisco. I grew up a Dallas fan as well as the Saints, and that was a nemesis for Dallas.
Yeah. Okay.
So San Francisco.
All right. The rare Joe Montana, not anti-guy. All right.
I liked him.
Best performance. Okay. Well,
Didn't like the team.
didn't like the team. Best Super Bowl performance by a player. Doesn't have to be stats. Just a game that you remember from one guy that stood out. Josh, very quickly.
Don't tell John Wilkerson I said this, but John Elway, the way he finished his career, helicopter into the end zone, very cool.
Jimmy.
Timmy Smith, running back for the Redskins. John Adams wrote a column about him. He's off in wherever the Super Bowl was. And the people in the sports department at the News Sentinel are like, why in the heck's he writing about this guy's? Why didn't he write about a backup guard? And then Timmy Smith went out and gained about 200 yards. Yeah, so.
Don't mention that one to John Wilkerson, because I think that was against the Broncos, was it not? Didn't he do that against the Broncos?
I think it was.
Okay. Chuck, performance by a player you remember and loved.
Troy Aikman.
No,
and
it can't be your own team.
Oh, it can't be your own team? Oh, that makes it
Drew
tougher.
Brees.
I would go with Brady. I mean, if it's not my team, how he just so many times, got there 10 times, won 7?
Yeah.
You-
And his defense failed him on the other 3. Brian?
I would. The Elway's a good one. The most dominant performance I can remember, Steve Young in that Super Bowl in the mid '90s. I mean,
the
just an
Chargers.
unreal performance.
Yeah.
The
individually.
monkey off his back
Yeah.
gesture.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't pick my own team. So Tom Brady versus Kansas City. Brady versus the Chiefs. I remember that one. Very quick, one-word answers. What player did you, or two-word answers, what player did you most hate to see win a Super Bowl? Guy you hated, Ryan. If you want to go back to your Patriots, do it.
I'm tempted to go. Yeah, I'll say Brady.
Hate Brady? What's wrong with you? Chuck.
At that time, I did.
Terry Bradshaw.
Jimmy.
Ben Davidson.
Who did he play for?
Raiders.
Okay, there we go.
The Mad Stork.
Where are you going?
Favre. I think that one holds up pretty well. But
I agree with that one. Ray Lewis. If you're involved in a murder, I'm not pulling for you.
He was
that's a
second
good
on my
one.
Ray
list.
Lewis. All right. Thanks to all these guys. Thanks to you. We will see you next week right back here on the Sports Source.